Hey yo, I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again with another action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends line, the X-Men wave featuring Marvel's Warlock as the Build-A-Figure character. This figure is Dazzler. Very cool looking. I'm actually really looking forward to this. Dazzler doesn't get a lot of love anymore, but she was actually a really interesting character back in the late 80s, early 90s. She kind of fell off the radar, but I actually always liked the character, so I'm really glad that we got at least a start for the figure. This is kind of one of her earlier renditions as she kind of first appeared in some of the comics. So kind of a discotheque kind of thing, punk look going on. So anyways, we'll get on to that here in a few moments. This does come on a standard Marvel Legends series card with a nice window thing. I gotta figure out what to call that. But beyond that, X-Men logo at the top, the Marvel's Warlock Build-A-Figure stamp there. We've got standard copyright information on the bottom. Some fairly cool looking artwork here on the side. Same artwork on the other side. The back of the package has the cool glamour shot of Dazzler, highlighting her cool roller skates, along with the rest of the wave and the Marvel's Warlock Build-A-Figure instruction sheet kind of thing. So, pretty cool looking. Let's go ahead and unbox this figure. Single piece of tape here. This little tabby thing just pops out. And then we can open the box, slide the cardboard insert out, toss the box and do whatever you want to do with it. The figure comes on this nice plastic blister pack here that lifts out of this cardboard thing. Some of these are very interesting. These particular ones aren't to me. Standard X-Men logo and some yellow and kind of brownish color stuff going on, but and there was a couple of them falling behind me. As far as the package goes, we do get inside the cool looking left arm of the Warlock Build-A-Figure. We'll look at that momentarily. We don't get a whole lot of accessories with most of these Marvel Legends figures, so in this case we get this cool Dazzler color effect thing. So that's kind of interesting, but we'll look at that in a moment. And you'll have to bear with me while I get this figure out. It's going to make some racket. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and we'll zoom in now and take a closer look, if I can do this without knocking everything on the desk off. We'll start out with the Build-A-Figure piece here. It's got some really nice details in it. Cool hand, nice paint job here, the kind of gold underneath with the black kind of anodized look to it here. So very nice looking, but we're kind of going to just set this to the side since we need all the other pieces to do much good with it. But it's kind of a cool looking piece. I'm actually looking forward to getting that Warlock figure. So accessory wise, we do get this cool little spell effect kind of thing. It's done in the multicolor, kind of a translucent plastic, though not real translucent. You can kind of see through it, but not that well. So anyways, it's supposed to kind of represent, you can kind of stick it on her arm and just kind of clamp it in place like that. Or I guess probably this little one would work better. Like that. And you can kind of simulate her mutant powers of light shows, which I know a lot of people associate more with Jubilee, but anyways, it's actually a pretty good way of making it look like she's actually using her powers. So I do like that they've kind of done this kind of thing with a lot of these figures. So it's a kind of cool little thing. It makes for really good displays, but that's kind of the accessory we get along with this cool little microphone here, which actually has quite a bit of detail on it. You got a little button there, you got a wireless little receiver there, you got the cone thing there with the grill. So it looks pretty cool. It's kind of a nice little effect. She was kind of a DJ singer kind of person, so it works really well. Moving on to the figure, it's got a really nice looking sculpt here. She's got a cool necklace there. It's kind of like a disco ball thing there. Pretty nice. Facial feature wise, see if I can get the light in here a little bit better for us. Might be able to, might not. We'll try that to see how well it works. So we get some pretty decent detail work on the face. The makeup is a little bit in your face, for lack of a better word. But I really do like the way they've done her eyes here. They got that kind of metallic sheen to them. Just looks really cool in person. Some nice sculpture work on the actual hair itself. Cool popped collar. Beyond that, she ain't got a whole lot going on here, except for when you get down to her feet. And she's wearing roller skates. They do not turn though, they're all just sculpted on there, so that's kind of a shame and seems like a missed opportunity. But she does have those crazy kind of disco ball shoes. So, some nice color on the actual bracelets there, but beyond that, normal sculpting details here. The actual plastic they've used is kind of weird. It's got kind of this strange, almost metallic look to it, but not quite. It's almost like they started to and then they kind of pulled back a little bit. So I don't know, it's kind of cool looking, but needs just a little bit more to amp it up, I think. But beyond that, it's actually pretty decent. As far as the actual figure itself goes, the head, the articulation wise, the head should move 360 degrees, but you do get kind of limited by her hair sculpt, and that popped collar kind of does limit things. So, but you can get pretty good side to side motion there, so that's not that big a deal. She can't look up, but she can look down pretty well. And she has some decent head tilt, so that's nice. Standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint. Sorry, that's the shoulder joint. Standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint as well. We have a swivel and a rocker at the wrist, so you get pretty good full range of motion there. Very nice. You do have the standard chest twist feature. It is a little sticky, so it doesn't quite go as far as I would like it to, but you still get a pretty good range out of it. Ab crunch goes down about that far and goes back that far, which is really nice. They did miss a little bit of paint here on the underside of her collar. Not that big a deal, but it kind of looks a little weird over on this side specifically. It looks weird to me, it may not to y'all. Standard T-hook, plastic T-hook at the waist and hips. You get full front range there. You get pretty good backward range. Side to side is slightly limited, which is unfortunate for this figure, but it works. Do have some nice musculature sculpted into her midsection there. May not show up on the screen, I'm not really sure, but it looks pretty cool in person. We get a standard twist at the top of the thigh. We do get a double knee joint. And we get that cool rocker, swivelly, twisty thing at the ankle. Her bell bottoms actually do kind of limit where she can go, how far her feet kind of move. But it's not really that big a deal, but it is slightly limiting. So you may just have to play around with that a little bit to see how well that works. But yes, so I don't know. It's a pretty cool looking figure. It works well for what it is. Strap this thing back on here. I'm a little bit worried about this paint job here with this little clippy thing. Too many attachments and disattachments may end up rubbing the paint off of that bracelet. So be mindful of that, but it looks cool. She does have that cool necklace thing, which is just a one piece, so you'd have to pop her head off to get it off, so we're not going to bother with that. But all in all, really good articulation. It's pretty standard for a Marvel Legends figure, so really nothing to write home about, but nothing to really take points off of for either. It looks really nice. It's nice and colorful. It's a good representation of the earlier versions of Dazzler. I would really like to see an updated version of her from once she hooked up with Longshot and they went off into the Mojo world and started doing all that crazy stuff there. That's really the character I remember as Dazzler. So I'm really hopeful that we'll actually get to see one of those in the near future, along with hopefully a cool Longshot figure as well. Hint, hint, if anybody out there from the Marvel Legends line is listening, we want those figures. By itself, though, it's a pretty cool figure. I do like it. It'll look really great on display. So, yeah, it's still only about a normal figure, I guess. It's not really too far... How do you say that? Nothing really jumps out at me as being spectacular, so it's just an average figure. It looks nice, it works for what it is, but it just doesn't have any of that extra little something to put it over the edge for me. So pick it up if you want. I don't think you'll be disappointed with it once you get it, but it may be one of those figures that you pass on. And just looking back at things, it's kind of one of the figures that more people are actually passing on. It has been discounted down to about $10 thereabouts, so it's pretty easy to come by, but it's still a cool figure, so pick it up if you can. You get the cool build-a-figure out of it anyways, but I like the figure anyways. That's all the time we have for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think of this Dazzler figure. Yep, if you'd like to see anything in future episodes, let me know that as well. Feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Be on the lookout for more awesome figure reviews coming down the pipeline. Until next time.